Welcome to our loan and borrowing invoice overview. Today we're going to learn how to loan and borrow and look at the invoices. So on the screen you can see that we have the borrowing company and loaning company. Today we're going to look at the borrowing company first on the left. Every Friday there's an invoice compound, meaning that every Friday this system will automatically update the invoice into the account. So we can see it by looking at the Manage Borrow Billings tab, and here's the invoice that we can click on and view and review. So we can see that the status is work done under that billing invoice. We can see all the employees. So we're going to click that dashboard and look at borrowed employees. And the data shown here is at a weekly format. So you can see that there's 5 weeks in here. And you can see all of those borrowed employees right there. Then we can also see the status of the billing data. So under billing invoices, we can see for that week, the hours, the worker, the hourly shift rate, and then we can see the status of the billing data. So right here, we can see that there's no rendered hours, but as a borrowing company, if I want to see any modifications, I can actually request those modifications here. And so I want to say, please modify the rendered hours on this week to 8 hours each. And now let's look at the for the loaning company's view. So I can see the loan in the Manage Loans tab, and then I can view on this client invoice. I want to see the summary of the employee of the borrowing company requested that these hours be modified. So then it will pull up the calendar for this specific employee. I can click on each day and I can modify those hours so that it reflects the request from the other company. And I just want to make sure that I get all of the correct dates and the correct times. So I can type yes or type 8. And then there's one more date and update that. So now we have modified all of the data and we can type a note right here just to tell them that we have resolved the issue and made those modifications. So now these modifications are resolved, and let's look back at it through the borrowing company's view. So I can look at the Manage Borrow Billings and then click View. And I can see that the data status changed, and we can look at the summary. So once I click on the summary, I can review the data, and I see that it is correct. There's a note. Everything was changed. And so then I can approve this billing. So I'll just click that Approve Billing. And so this data will be listed on the admin site. And this is where the admin comes in to actually approve all the data, and now that it's passed on. So I'm going to log out and then log into the admin account. So again, I'm just going to use that email and password to get on as an admin. And now I can see under the financials, right here, I have the borrower's invoice and the loaner's invoice. And I want to see the invoices that I need to review. So this is a place where you can see all your weekly data and then the amounts that should be paid. So right now there's a payment between the company and the Connex admin, so the borrower. I'm going to look through all the data to make sure that the billing is correct, that the total is correct. And then I can decide whether I want to do a full payment or a partial payment. So right here I can either click full or partial and then type in the amount. And then I can hit submit and print this for my records if I want, or to send out, but I'm not going to today. Or this is what it looks like if you do full payment. It'll just automatically put the total cost in that line. And then again, you can print or not. So then once that is submitted and the payment is received, the borrowing company has then paid the ConX admin. So another one that we can look at here. Oops, so there it is. Another one to the borrowing company has paid the remaining balance. Let's look at the loaner's invoice and see this invoice right here. So under loaners, again, you can press full payment or partial payment. You want to make sure all your information is correct. When you are ready, you can press submit, and then you can print that for your record. And then what happens here is that then the ConX admin will pay the rental fee to the loaner's company. And the ConX admin will act sort of as the middleman on the payment process. And so, for example, we can submit this and then see the other invoices here. So we have that billing invoice right there. And now the admin has paid the loaners, and this is the flow of how the invoices work with the borrowing and loaning. And as I reviewed what happened in this company, I can see that we finalized the invoice data. And then once it is finalized, so I'm going to review it. Once it's finalized, it will be sent. And the ConX admin and the borrowing company will have a process payment. And once they receive the payment, it will now input the data into the borrowing invoice, and then the ConX admin will now pay the loaner company. So thank you for learning about the borrowing and loaners invoices today.